Hi, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to work on wheel pose. So wheel pose is kind of the archetypal back bend. It involves using the whole of the body, and it maybe helps to think about wheel pose not so much about bending the back, but as opening up the whole of the front of the body. So I definitely recommend warming up with a good number of sun salutations. Also, make sure you stretch out your hip flexors, so maybe some low lunges, and that you open up the shoulders. So, puppy pose is a really good one for that. We're going to get started with some bridge poses first, and I'll go through the progressions and we'll see how we get on. So, to get started, we'll begin with bridge pose. Set up with your feet hip width apart and the feet are parallel. And then we're going to come down lying on the mat. So set the distance so that your fingers can just touch your heels. So for our first variation, pull the tummy in, kind of roll the shoulders under, press into the feet, lift the hips up. So you can keep your hands flat on the floor or you can clasp them underneath you. So once you're here, roll the shoulders under some more, really press firmly into the feet and lift the hips up as high as you can. Press the hands down into the mat and keep lifting the hips up. And exhale as you come down. So we'll just try for a deeper bend. So we're going to try and take hold of the ankles. So shift yourself forward a bit more. Hold your ankles. Again, set yourself up. Press firmly into the feet and lift the hips up, rolling the shoulders under. So try and push the weight back towards your head. You're trying to make an even bend and trying to take some of the bend into your upper back as well. And exhale, come down. So hopefully you really felt your quads working. If you're feeling your thighs burning, then you're using the right muscles to lift your hips up and to support yourself in the bend. The strength is coming from your legs. Okay, so we'll set up for wheel pose and I'll show you a prep variation first. So again, check your distance. So your fingertips touching your heels is usually a good place to start. Take your hands and place them beside your shoulders, so fingers pointing towards the toes. Make sure you're keeping the elbows pointing upwards. It'll make it easier to push up. So the same setup at first as for bridge, press into the feet, lift the hips up, and then press into the hands and push up, coming to rest on the top of your head. So this is a good prep position. You can stay here, keeping the elbows pointing upwards, and trying to take some of the weight off of the head. So press into the hands, release the head, and come back down. Okay, so we'll try pushing up into full wheel now. Take the hands by your shoulders again. Try and get your hair out of the way. And then pressing into the feet, lift the hips up. Push into the hands, come onto the top of your head. And then when you're set up, elbows pointing up, inhale, push up. Slowly come back down onto the top of your head and then roll forwards so you can come all the way down. Bring your knees into your chest, hug them in. You can always take a little rock from side to side just to massage your spine. So don't worry if at first you can't push up from the prep position into wheel. It's not a movement that we're very used to in our day-to-day lives, and it took me a long time to be able to get the strength to press all the way up. So if that's something that you're working on, just work on staying in the prep position and keep taking the weight with your hands as much as you can. Keep trying to push up, and one day it will just happen and you'll come all the way up and lift your head up off of the mat. Once you're in wheel pose, there are a few things to think about. So you want to think about hugging the knees towards each other, as in keeping them in line instead of letting them splay out to the side. Same with the feet, try to distribute the weight evenly across the soles of the feet and prevent them also from splaying out to the side. Push the weight backwards towards your head. So again, using the strength of your legs, the strength of your quads, you want to press into the feet and thinking about shifting the weight backwards towards your head and your shoulders to create that nice even bend and take some of the bend into the upper back so you're not dumping it all into your lower back. Really press firmly into the hands. Try and straighten the arms. So think about kind of squeezing the elbows towards each other. Keep the neck relaxed and look at a point between your hands on the mat, and don't forget to breathe. It's really common, especially at first, for breathing to be faster in back bends. So maybe at first double the amount of breaths that you're spending in the bend, and also just work on trying to breathe as deeply as possible. I really hope that helped. Thank you so much for practicing with me.